Hey there, duct tapers. It is finally time for me to tell you who to vote for in the 2024 presidential election, and I will share the Facebook posts that informed my opinions. I'm kidding. Don't worry, I promise not to be like those awkward family members or former high school classmates who flood your Facebook feed with partially informed political opinions. So instead of talking about elephants and donkeys, I'd like to revisit two other animals, cows and buffalo. Remember our buffalo metaphor from the last episode? We discussed how, unlike cows, buffalo face storms head on, minimizing the time they spend in the storm. I believe, as you know now, that this approach is something we should emulate when it comes to AI and education. Unfortunately, human nature makes it really hard for us to avoid that cow reaction, which is to respond to AI with what we call and let me apologize for adding another animal into the educational duct tape zoo here, but the reason it's hard for us is what we call the lizard brain reaction. The lizard brain is a name for the most primitive part of our brain, and it is in charge of things like feeding, fear, fight, and flight, along with a few other primitive responses. And the natural reaction to AI for most adults comes from the lizard brain. AI challenges our core beliefs about what education is and what learning looks like. It's a threat to our core beliefs. So, of course, our brain, our lizard brain, skips right past thinking and goes straight to either ignoring these vast changes, that's flight, or getting mad about them, that's fight. Some of us do both of those things. That's our lizard brain talking. But as we learned, running away from the storm or standing still only prolongs the discomfort. So we have to use the other parts of our brain. Even though the natural response is the lizard brain, we've got to use the other parts. Not fight, not flight, not fear, not anger. We have to use thought, open-mindedness, problem solving, and curiosity. You know what? I take it back. I would like to talk to you about who would make a great president. Don't worry. I'm not going to tell you which one I think is going to be great, Trump or Harris. I do think one of them will be great. I'm not going to go there. What I do want to talk about are some of the presidents from our history. You see, a group of historians and political scientists sat down and looked at all of the presidents from history and ranked them. Those were then averaged together, and a group then looked at the great presidents, right? The ones that were at the top of that list, and looked at the characteristics that they had. Well, in his book, Think Again, Adam Grant shares a very powerful insight about this. He said, according to those studies, what set great presidents apart was their intellectual curiosity and openness. They read widely and were as eager to learn about developments in biology and philosophy and architecture and music as they were in domestic and foreign affairs. They were interested in hearing new views and revising their old ones. They saw many of their policies as experiments to run, not points to score. Although they might have been politicians by profession, they often solved problems like scientists. You are an educator by profession, but we need to also look at artificial intelligence like scientists. As Grant said, we need intellectual curiosity. We need openness. We need to read widely and be eager to learn. We need to be open to new views as well as to revising our old ones. It's a growth mindset. It's risk-taking. It's actually the scientific method. This will help us navigate the storm more effectively and harness that rainfall to turn it into beautiful flowers and productive crops.